Okay, Nick and Andy, let's preview and give our predictions for Everton against Arsenal. What a fun game this should be, Nick Mandola. On paper, I mean, at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, wonderful venue just before the holidays. What are your thoughts on this one? Because Arsenal struggling a little bit, just struggling along, still top of the table heading into this weekend. But Everton been playing really well, should have more points on the board than they do, and they have been right up there under David Moyes for most of this season. So, potential slip up here for Arsenal, I would say.
I can't get over how poor Arsenal looked against Wolves. How at this point, early in the season, when they were not, when Andy was on them a little bit about not being more effective in the final third.
I've been waiting for this day, Nick.
Well, but it's different to me now because all the guys are there. All the attackers are there. Like right now, Arsenal playing a 4-2 game or a 3-2 game, and you're forgiving them because they've had their problems at the back, and they're missing Gabriel, and they've missed Calafiori for a minute, and they've missed Saliba for a minute, and like they've been mixing in and out, but like they looked idealists against Wolves. And respect to Rob Edwards, I'm pulling for him. Really, I am. You can see that the club meant so much for him, and he took the job at Wolves, and people didn't understand it. But it's just that the club meant that much. Like, I'm pulling for this dude, and this dude has nothing. And they still probably should have gotten at least a point from Arsenal. 2 own goals, weird own goals, got the job done. One hit the post and hit the keeper's back to go in. And the last one, Mascara, is like, you could tell he was just like, what do I have to do to get my team a point? Not let alone 3 points. So I'm looking for that wake-up call from Arsenal. Obviously, they had midweek action as well. But if this is a Premier League title contender, you don't look like you did in attack against Wolves 2 weeks in a row, even if Everton are obviously quite a bit better.
Yeah, Andy, looking at Everton, let's focus on them because quietly they've just gone about their business this season. Had a slow start. It took a while for new signings to settle in. But they should have more points, right? Every time I watched them, even the defeat at Chelsea recently, 3 or 4 huge chances, just not putting them away. And I'd have to say hats off to David Moyes. And obviously no one died for this game. He's away at AFCON, so that's a big miss. But Dewsbury Hall, Grealish, they're still stepping up and doing the business week in, week out. So a lot of great, creative, fun talents. And I think at home as well, they've really responded well to moving to this new stadium and kind of putting on a show every time they play there.
Yeah, you just said 3 words there, Joe, that I don't think have ever been associated with David Moyes' teams. Creative, young talents. And they are. You know what? Round of applause for David Moyes at this point in his life. Changing, trying something new, and having success with it. I think a lot of people could probably take a little bit of advice from that. And yeah, you're right. I had huge doubts about Jack Grealish going into that team, and just you reach the level that Jack Grealish has done. You make the money that Jack Grealish has made. You reach the heights that Jack Grealish has reached, and then you sell him on a project. All right, we want you to go somewhere where you're going to actually have to work a lot harder in different ways than you're maybe used to, and it's going to be a lot more sacrificing yourself for the team and the betterment of everyone. And it's not really going to be about you, even though you're clearly the best and most talented player that is at this club. And he has, to his credit, fully bought in. I think Moyes probably has a huge part in that. And so they've built a very, very functional team that they can get beaten by anybody on any day if they don't take the 1 or 2 very clear scoring chances that they have. And Beto and Barry have not been great with it this season. That's been their Achilles heel. But they've got such a solid midfield that I do think they will give Arsenal some struggles in this game. I think Arsenal probably, you got to favor Arsenal in this one. If you take out Njai from that Everton team, as good as he's been, opposite of Grealish, I think we're going to see a lot of focus on Grealish defensively in this one. And so it's just kind of it's a little bit of dominoes right there. But yeah, this Everton team has been one of the better stories of the season so far because of just how bad they've been for the last 4 or 5 years and how close they came to relegation when they were leaving Goodison, and what a disastrous situation that would have been. So it's nice to see them in a good little moment at the holidays.
It is. And Grealish should be fit. Obviously, Dewsbury Hall is struggling, and then Dye obviously is away. Idrissa Gana Gueye is away. So probably a good time for Arsenal to play Everton, as good as they've been, Nick. But then I don't know. Just like you said, they're running on empty a little bit. Arsenal. I spoke to Bukayo Saka ahead of this game, and he said he's been enjoying this kind of leadership role, and he really carried them against Wolves, didn't he? I mean, he was the one player. We talked about lack of creativity, but just so consistent the way he cuts inside, outside, whips in great crosses, tries shots from all over the place. I mean, at this moment, he is carrying them through this little rough patch, and you have to think that at some point, all these players, attacking wise, when they come back from injury like they've been out for a while, that they will kind of just click back into gear and click back in. Do you think that's fair enough to say? Maybe they're just a bit rusty because so many of them have been out for a little while, but because defensively they're okay. Yes, they're missing big players, but I just going forward, I do have those concerns about Arsenal, especially with some of these tough games over the holidays that they've got against Villa and Everton.
Yeah, because of the congestion, you won't see this for a little while, but I wish they could use 4 straight games of Eze, Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres. Let's see what it looks like with those 4 guys out there. And I just don't know that. I don't think we've seen that for more than 2 games in a row. With respect to Trossard, to Martinelli, to Gabby Jesus, these to me are all. Madueke is the one X factor. I think he could be like a full-time starter in the league, but those other guys are nice pieces to have. And I think for a long time, Arteta, to his credit, has tried to make them feel like they're unlucky not to be starting. And no, these are our best guys, and let's see how they look together. So that's kind of where I want to come off there, because they should really, as all praise due to Everton for what they've done, this should not be an issue for them.
Yeah,
it should be a tough game, but it should be 3 points.
Yeah, it should do, right, Andy? I'm going with a 2-1 win to Arsenal. I feel like this might just be, again, another set pieces situation, or maybe it'll be tight and they'll catch Everton on the break in the second half. But I think they'll just get over the line here, given some of the key players we mentioned that are out for Everton and their struggles with scoring goals. But I do think they'll get chances because of like Nick mentioned, the constant chopping and changing of defensive partnerships, players. I mean, we have no idea who's going to start for Arsenal at the back week in, week out at the moment. So what do you think prediction-wise?
I was really set to go 2-0 Arsenal and see it pretty comfortably, but then looking at the back lines that they've run out there the last couple of games, Saliba's the only one, and Timber playing out of position as well, the only ones that you would have thought coming into the season, okay, those are going to be important pieces for this team. And anytime you break up a defense like that's been as good as they have been, not just this year, but for a couple years now, and have that chemistry together, it does change things a lot. So, I'm going to say 1-1 in this one. I don't think there's going to be a ton of chances, because I think Arsenal are going to look to control the game and limit Everton as much as they can. I think they're going to be limited with the personnel they have as well. So a couple of scrappy goals probably in this one. I think that suits both teams and kind of what they are as teams at the moment.
Yeah, I can see that. And obviously there's the added thing, Nick, that by the time Arsenal kick off, they might not be top of the table anymore because Man City play earlier on Saturday. So still early in the title race, but that mentality shift and seeing how they cope with that after being top of the table for so long this season. But what is your prediction for this game, Nick?
All right, I'm going to let Arsenal become what Man United's been to me the last 6 years and just let me down for following logic. The talent logic, the logic of talent. It'll be my new book that I write about how much I let myself down. They're going to win 3-1. Arsenal are going to win 3-1. Fun fact, just to throw that out there. Did you know that in 11 seasons, most of them David Moyes, Everton had 1 forward as their player of the year? This team is always it just got me thinking when Andy said that, and you start thinking about the Moyes era, and it's Baines and it's Coleman and it's Heitinga. So I can't buy into Everton quite yet.
Yeah. Tim Cahill, Leon Osmond, these kind of players.
Julian Lescott.
Stephen Pienaar.
Pienaar was the forward. Good shout. Yes.
Yeah. I mean it's
Arteta was their player of the season twice.
Yeah. And now they square off this weekend. Everton against Arsenal. Head over to Pro Soccer Talk on it's Circle of Life. Head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com for all the latest on Everton against Arsenal.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.